During the Imperial Conference of 1923, the United Kingdom decided to offer Royal Australian Air Force officers a 4-year service commission with the Royal Air Force. At the outbreak of war on the 3rd of September 1939, there were around 450 Australians serving in the Royal Air Force. Most were operational pilots on short service commissions. One of these pilots was Flight Lieutenant Gordon Olive of 65 Squadron RAF. Here's Bruce Brown, remembering the Australians who were involved in the Battle of Britain from July through to October 1940.
There were 22 Australians and 7 were killed. I knew a couple of them. The only one I knew that got through it, his name was Gordon Olive, and I had a lot to do with him when he was sales manager with Ream in Queensland, and I was marketing manager with Caltex Oil Company. So I used to see a lot of him when he was selling, stainless steel drums to us.
Before the official dates of the Battle of Britain, Gordon Olive had been serving with the Royal Air Force's 65 Squadron since the 22nd of May, 1937. During the evacuation of the battered British Expeditionary Force from Dunkirk in May 1940, his squadron flew offensive patrols over France as part of the Hornchurch Wing. On the 28th of May 1940, after 25 sorties and 35 hours flying time, Gordon Olive was listed as missing somewhere over Dunkirk during an air operation, his wingmen reporting the last sighting of Olive was of him chasing a dozen Messerschmitts. We couldn't find any footage of this particular event, so we've created our own newsreel to retell this story.
Over the skies of Dunkirk, the brave pilots of the Royal Air Force, number 65 Squadron, protect our troops below as they fight for mastery of the sky over France. Here we see a wing of 65 Squadron Spitfires making their way to the patrol line, some 20 miles inland from Dunkirk. Flying at 10,000 feet, they spot a couple of low-wing monoplanes far below. Australian pilot Gordon Olive and 2 others dive down toward the beach to investigate 2 unidentified aircraft. Fortunately, they are friendlies doing a routine beach patrol. Gordon and the boys give a friendly wave and make their way back up to the rest of the squadron. But where is the rest of 65 Squadron? Gordon and his wingmen make their way back up to 10,000 feet, but cannot see their wing of 33 other Spitfires. Wait, is that them? Gordon sees a squadron of aircraft heading toward him. There they are, he says to himself. But he was wrong. Before they realized what was happening, Gordon and his 2 boys had half a dozen enemy aircraft opening fire at them. A squadron of Messerschmitt 109s were bearing down on the 3 brave lads with no support in sight. Gordon yells to both of his boys and they break either side, each then attacking a row of 12 109s each. Gordon gets out of the way of a deadly spray of enemy fire, pulling a right-hand climbing turn with a 109 in hot pursuit. But Gordon is not done yet. He has a few tricks up his sleeve as his Spitfire outturns the enemy squadron leader. Soon enough, Gordon is on the tail of a 109, flying in formation, and gives him a good squirt from his machine gun. The enemy aircraft quickly gets out of the way, and Gordon finds himself working up a line of a dozen 109s. When he gets to number 9 in the formation, he takes his time to line up a shot. But here comes that enemy squadron leader again. Gordon is sprayed with bullets and something explodes in his aircraft. His cockpit fills with fumes and his aircraft takes off in a screaming loop of its own accord. As if by a miracle, Gordon's wounded Spitfire rounds out at the bottom of its tight loop, right behind the last remaining 3 109s. Gordon pushes the fire button to give the enemy a ration of bullets, but nothing happens. The compressed air bottle under his seat has been destroyed and the gun trigger won't work. Just as Gordon thinks this is the end of the line for him, the enemy in his gun sights disappears, thinking it was the end of the line for him. Now Gordon is behind the last 2 enemy aircraft of the formation, and they too dive out of the way, not wanting to see if the deadly Spitfire behind them had bullets or not. Gordon is still in trouble. He is drowsy and dizzy, his cockpit filled with petrol fumes. He opens the canopy for fresh air and flies down toward the beaches at Dunkirk. With a punctured fuel tank, a shot-up leg, and the engine shaking like a shaggy wet dog, Gordon flew along the coast while considering the chances of making it across the channel. Suddenly, flak starts to explode all around as Gordon finds himself in the sights of an anti-aircraft battery. He pushes out to sea while making evasive maneuvers to get out of the range of the gunfire. The next 15 minutes seem like 15 days as Gordon nurses his Spitfire back to Manston Aerodrome. A squadron of Hurricanes are taking off to Dunkirk, and Gordon has to find some little spot to put down his wounded Spitfire. With great skill, he lands his aircraft without any flaps or brakes. Gordon is home and safe, but that's not what his squadron thinks. They think he's been shot down over Dunkirk. He is reported missing in action, and his family is notified. In the confusion of war, RAF headquarters had not told Gordon's squadron that he was back safe, and for 36 hours he was reported as missing. With much relief, Gordon's family over in Australia were finally notified that he was okay. A hero of the skies over Dunkirk in this battle for freedom against Nazi aggression.